tell Ruby you saw the Queen?
Yes, I just saw the Queen, technically.
Oh, you
We
did?
watched her
Drive
through
But we
through a
both
gate.
saw her, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the angle was bad and you can't really see her in the video, but we did see her better in real life when the car went more forward and we were looking at it at an angle. You could see her very clearly. Unfortunately, our cameras were not pointed in that direction. Okay, so then we watched this thing, which was, well, fairly boring if I'm being completely honest. My dad thought it was the changing of the guards, so we decided to go and watch it, but nothing really happened. Most of the time they were just standing still, and like I said, it was fairly boring. But there were some sort of interesting parts, I guess. I'll cut out the boring parts when I'm not talking for you, so you can just see the sort of interesting parts. I personally thought it was sort of like a uniform check or some sort of command test. I'm not really sure. This is part of Westminster Abbey. A lot of really famous, important, and royal people are buried here. I wasn't allowed to film in most of it, however this part they did let you film in. While my dad was looking at some other parts of the cathedral, I just took the opportunity to get some footage. You can see the architecture and the vibe of the place from this footage. However, you can't see any of the actual tombs where the royal people or Shakespeare or other people like that are buried. This is from the Winston Churchill Museum. It's not all dedicated to him, however a small portion of it is. I didn't find much interest in that portion and kind of skipped through it. Most of it is about the Second World War, and they talk about the area because this is where it was located. This is where they did all of the planning. They did it underground to protect them from the bombs that were exploding above them. So they told us what each room was about and what was going on at the time. There were some interesting stories, and I just thought it was nice to look at it. They had everything how it was when people were actually using it, and I just kind of liked looking at it and learning all of the information from my little audio guide. I actually had the audio guide talk to my phone camera for a slight part of it. You don't really get any facts from that, but I will put that footage in right now so you can hear what the audio guide sounded like.
Above this doorway, you'll see the words Prime Minister. This office facing you was...
It's so nice out today. Like right here with like all the wind. And then like all the river and then Buckingham Palace in the background. It's so nice.
Not Buckingham Palace.
This is the view from the top deck of a double-decker bus that we took. We took many double-decker buses, well, like 3. 2 of them were the normal modern ones like this one. However, one of them was actually an old-fashioned one, like the kind you would see in Harry Potter, and I thought it's really cool that they're actually still running those, and it was nice to go in them. But just one thing I want to say about the buses in London is they are so hot. Like, do they not know what air conditioning is? Like, I think they actually had air conditioning, but it just didn't work well. I'm not sure. But it was incredibly hot no matter where you went on either type of bus, and it was horrible. It was also fairly hot in the subway because of all of the body heat from all those people scrunched close together, but the bus didn't have that body heat problem, so I think that they should have found a way to make it cooler, but they didn't, so yeah.
I've only done like 2 things today, but it feels like a lot. I am so excited. This trip is like so fun already, but now I have to go study annoyingly.
Our main mode of transportation was the underground subway, and I personally loved it. It was so much fun to just like navigate around there. I don't know, I really liked it. And I actually have a funny story because my dad stared at a step-by-step instruction thing on how to fill up his card and put more money onto it so that we could keep using the subway. By the time I finished doing my card, he was still staring at it. It was at least like he was staring at it for at least 10 minutes because he started before I did, and then I had finished, and so then he handed me his card and I just did it for him. It was a step-by-step instruction. I don't know why or how he couldn't like figure it out, but I thought it was really funny that he couldn't and I could, and he will never live it down.
Prior to her execution in the year 1536, she'd been tried and condemned on various crimes such as adultery, witchcraft and incest. But so scared was she of the block and axe, she asked to be executed in the French manner with a 2-handed sword. And we even brought the executioner across from Calais in France. On the day of her execution, as Anne knelt down over there to say her final prayers, the executioner, quietly and gently, took the sword out from underneath a pile of straw where it had been hidden. And with one swift blow, he took her head clean off. Now, so precise and so swift was the blow that he struck that it was said, as the executioner lifted Anne's head for the crowd to see, her eyes were still staring around at the crowd, and her lips were still moving in prayer. You've gone really quiet again. Right, okay, enough of executions for one day. Right, what we're going to do now, ladies and gents, we're going to go inside the Chapel Royal. But before we go in there are a few rules and regulations you have to be aware of. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I have to remind you the Chapel Royal today is still a practicing Christian place of worship. So, gentlemen in the audience, if your religion allows you to do so, can I ask all the men and the boys to remove their headdress when entering the church? Ladies, you may keep your heads covered, you'll be fine. Also, there is to be no smoking, eating or drinking inside the church, and photography, sound recording and video filming is not permitted under Crown copyright law. So if you take a photograph inside that church, you are committing treason. You will end up there. Okay, so don't do it. Also, if you've got one of those instruments of the devil about your person, I refer to the mobile or cell phone, and I please ask you to make sure that is switched off, or better still, throw it in the River Thames where it belongs. And if there's anyone in the audience who are lucky enough to be under the age of about 25 years of age, trust me on this one, you lot, when you switch that mobile phone off, your heart will continue to beat. Don't worry, okay? Now, lastly, as we go through the door, ladies and gentlemen, there is a small step. It is about that high. It has been there for hundreds of years, but every now and again it does have the habit to jump up and trip the unwary visitor. So please be careful as you're going through the doorway. Remember, that step will still be there when you're leaving on the way out. Now, ladies, fear not. Chivalry at the Tower is not dead. I will wait just inside that doorway like a coiled spring, and should any of you girls trip and fall, I will be there to catch you in these old soldiers' arms of mine. And gentlemen, if any of you lot trip and fall, it really hurts. Make your way down to my colleague Jimmy, he'll let you in, and I'll see you inside the church.
Okay, so what you just listened to was a part at the very end of my tour that I took at the Tower of London. The Tower of London is amazing, and I definitely suggest a visit. You should spend all day there because there is that much to do. If you try to fit it in to do something else after, it won't really work out and you won't get nearly as much out of it as you could. The Tower of London was so fun and so amazing, and I just loved every part of it. In fact, the least interesting part of the Tower of London was the Crown Jewels, which is what most people actually go there for. So don't go thinking, oh, I'll just take a look at the Crown Jewels and then I'll leave and I can do something else. Everything else is like 10 times more interesting, and I really suggest that you take the time to walk around, do the tours, talk to the beefeaters, because they are full of so much information and they can give you so much, and it's just an amazing experience.
Hi. Okay, so I asked the guy, I got ice cream sorbet, and I was going to pay for it, but then he just kind of ignored me after he did it, and then I got the money and I like held it out, and he just kind of ignored me, so I just kind of left, and my dad went to go try and pay now, but I'm just kind of like, he just called for like the next person and then ignored me, and it's like, okay, well, now what? Do I pay? Do I not? I would just like, I guess I leave because I held it out and he just ignored me, so I just left. Like, I mean, what else was I supposed to do? I am exhausted at the top of St. Paul's Cathedral in London, of course. Oh, God. The stairs to get up here, there were so many, and they're so tight. Like, I'm slightly claustrophobic, like not even a lot, and it was like, whew. But the view is beautiful once you're up here. Look. Here my dad is going up to the higher level now. Well, he's in line to do so. I'm not getting in those tiny staircases again. I mean, I'm gonna have to go down, but I'm not going up anymore.
So when we came down from St. Paul's Cathedral, we saw this couple doing wedding photos, and I just thought the dress looked beautiful, and so I wanted to take a photo, but I felt awkward, and like at the end she was kind of looking at me, so I didn't want to get any closer. My dad wanted me to get a lot closer, but no.
At Windsor Castle Place. Where are we? Dad, what's it called? Windsor Castle. It's really pretty and stuff. I don't know. It's nice. I'm really exhausted, even though it's like the beginning of the day. I just didn't get much sleep last night.
So I'm finished with the castle now, and it was fine. I really liked looking at the dollhouses, but that's kind of all that interested me. I am really excited to look around town, though. I'm about to eat now, and then I think we're going to look around town and look at all the shops and stuff, and I'm excited for that. But at the same time, I'm just completely, utterly exhausted, so I really wish I was doing this on another day when I have more energy, but since I'm not, you know, whatever. That is all the footage that I took during my trip in London, but look forward to more from this trip because I have a Birmingham haul video that is coming out next week, and later there will be another haul video because I'm going to show everything that I bought when I was in London. I will also include some things that I got in Birmingham that I did not get at the bull ring and are not in that vlog. However, there will not be many items like that. So, I really hope you watch those 2 videos and come back to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe.